Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of El Local Podcast 831. I am your host, Eddie Gonzalez, and today I have Gracie Belmontes joining me today. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Gracie, you are a fitness, I want to say guru, because you're pretty active.
Right.
And you're also a business owner.
Yes.
You have a meal prep company that you started. And there is a current battle that you're going through. Recently diagnosed with breast cancer.
Correct.
And so I want to get to it all and get to know you as a person in your journey and allow you to share your story, right? And so right off the back, tell me a little bit about yourself. If you could describe yourself, how would you describe yourself?
That's very interesting. No one's ever asked me that. I mean, I think people have asked me that quite a few times, and I always have a hard time because when you think of yourself, you think about a lot of things. But I would describe myself as resilient, a go-getter, and confident. Like I used to call myself healthy, now I'm not. But I am very into like fitness and like health and wellness. But that's just words that I would describe myself as. And I can go like on about like, you know, how I started and stuff like that. We'd probably be here forever, but where do you want me to start exactly? Because I mean,
yeah. So you grew up here in Salinas.
Correct.
So we're here in Salinas in your home. Thank you for opening up your doors. So I want to start off with growing up. Did you grow up here in Salinas, born and raised?
Born and raised in Salinas, yep. And pretty much lived here all like my 30 years. I was the only time that I moved away was when I went to college, and I was out there for like 2 years in Iowa, and then I came back. You know, I just finished my school, came back, and here I am again.
Well, you know, that's awesome because I did not know that about you.
Yeah.
You went to school in Iowa. So you went to Alisal High, and the reason why I know that is because a cousin of mine is in your class.
Okay.
So when I posted something on Instagram a while back, it's like, hey, I know her. It's like, oh, yeah, we went to school together. So that's why I know you went to Alisal.
Oh, okay.
And so when did fitness become a thing for you? When did you start getting involved and intrigued with fitness as a whole? Did it start
At a young age.
at a young age?
Yep. It started around maybe like 4 or 5, kind of like forced. My parents got me into soccer, and it was difficult for me at first to kind of like get the hang of it, like do sports. And then eventually I just started loving the game. So it became a routine for me, and I just wanted to get better at it. I started like challenging myself, and I kind of just grew up in that soccer like life. And so I was like eat, sleep, soccer.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, I went to, then in high school, I did track and cross country as well. But it was always like instilled in me, like being that athlete. I wanted, you know, you see like professional athletes and you're like, I want to be like them. So it kind of like, it motivated me. And then I went to college, and then in college they started incorporating like strength training, and I started liking it. So I was like, I want to look strong and lean muscle, the things that you see online. So I was just like, I want to be like that. And then eventually I just started going to the gym. I started like getting workouts online, and then it was just like.
Did you go to school to play soccer?
Yeah, specifically I went to play soccer there.
Okay. So did you get a full ride scholarship or?
I did.
Oh wow.
Yeah, full ride scholarship to Iowa. Well, William Penn University. And it was a private school, so it was perfect. It wasn't anything too big for me. So I really liked it there. And yeah, I was there for like 2.5 years, and then I came back.
What was it like being over there coming from Salinas? Because we know Salinas is such a heavy Latino, Hispanic, Mexican American community.
Yeah.
You know, and we live and breathe soccer in this area. And so to go from what you're used to here in Salinas to Iowa, how big of a culture shock was that, and how hard and easy was it to kind of adjust to it?
One, it was a culture shock for sure. It was the little town itself, because it's a little town, and it's like an elderly white community. So it was very different. And then, well, obviously here in Salinas, California doesn't have like all 4 seasons, and in Iowa it goes through all 4 seasons. So when I first moved over there, it was like super hot, like humid, and then it went into like fall, and then winter was like, it was snowing over there, and I had never seen snow, so it was like trying to adjust, not with just like the culture itself, but like the weather too.
Yeah.
But the school itself was very diverse. There was people from everywhere, right? Like Spain, Brazil, everywhere around the world. So it was just, the school itself was very diverse, but you would go like to the store and they would kind of like stare at you, like I felt stared at. Like I was like they're probably thinking like this.
You're
like,
not from here.
Yeah,
like,
you're not from here.
Stand out, yeah.
So, but it was. I eventually adjusted. The first year was a little like getting used to everything, being away from home too. But then afterwards, it was just kind of like, all right, I like it. Yeah. I made friends. I sometimes was invited by friends to go with them, like during Thanksgiving, to meet their family and stuff like that. So it was nice.
Yeah, I could only imagine like the snow part of it, and it's true because I hear that from everyone. It's like California is like, it's like either it's raining or it's hot, right? There's really no in between, and some cold, you know, because like right now we're going through this cold mornings and it gets hot all of a sudden. I'm wearing a sweater and I'm like, you know, but the 4 seasons over there is just like crazy. It's like bam, bam, you know what you get during that time. And so did you have to like buy a lot of like winter snow clothes for that? Because like you didn't have it here? Because like even for me, like I wear shorts all the time. Yeah. And so the one time that I went to a different state and it was snowing, I was like, I have all spring and summer gear. That's all I wear. Yeah. And so how did you adjust right away, or just, you know, obviously over time, but like what was your oh crap, like I'm not in Salinas anymore?
Yeah. Well, luckily my teammates there, who had been there for a little longer and stuff, they would tell us like, hey, like it's gonna start to get cold, like you guys need to be prepared, wear this, wear that, because it gets cold. When it gets cold, you're gonna be freezing. So they kind of like helped us out a lot over there. People who were from there, they would kind of like let us know ahead of time. Yeah. Like, just be prepared. And then, just kind of adjusted. Yeah.
And so you go from here to there. It's completely different. And as an athlete myself, you learn different things, right? The coaches that you get coached at a high school level, they teach you up to a certain degree, right? To prepare you. And so you get to the collegiate level, you're playing. And so what differences did you notice and feel and see from high school to college ball?
It was very different. I'm trying to think back to my soccer days. But coach-wise, well, they had more knowledge. Some had been semi-pro athlete players, or some were pro athlete players. So we also had like different coaches. I mean, I don't know about now in high school, but I remember we only had like 1 or 2 coaches in high school. And over here was like, there was one for each, like maybe tactical, one was like strength and conditioning, one was for like, I don't know, goalkeeper had their own coach, and then we had their main coach that would oversee the whole team. And And so it was like different for me at first because I was like, well, like one's telling me this, one's telling me that. But they all kind of like work together to make the team really good.
Yeah.
So, and then the players that were coming like from all around the world, well, they each had their own experience too, because some were like freshmen, but others were like transfers from junior colleges as well. So it was like coming together and just kind of creating like a badass team, you know? And yeah.
What was your record then? Did you guys go pretty far? Was it like
so my first year, I'm trying to think, because I remember my first year there, I was starting preseason and then I got injured. I tore my ACL, so then I had to like get surgery. So first season, I was out, just recovering. And then the second year, I remember we made it all the way to like, I'm thinking CCS because of here in California, but over there,
D3, D1, D2?
It was D2, D3, I believe. But we made it like almost close to like finals. And we did pretty good. Yeah. I can't remember our record because I'm like thinking years ago. But yeah, we had our like ups and downs and stuff like that. But in the end, it was a solid team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You mentioned you tore your ACL first year you're there.
Yeah.
I can only imagine, like, because that's like the most common. That and like Achilles tear with athletes is very common.
Yeah.
And so being your first year being out there, excited to play, you know, ready for a new chapter. You're in a new city, new state. And to go through an ACL tear like that, how difficult was that being not just as an athlete out, but being away from home?
It was hard. I remember I was so excited to start. It was actually, I think the first, we were doing the tournament and it was preseason. And I remember I was just going one-on-one with another player and she beat me to it and I put my leg out first and she was, she beat me and I think we did like knee to knee. And I just remember feeling like a pop, but I had never torn anything. I was like a healthy, good player. So I think the most that I had like was a sprained ankle.
Yeah. So
for me, it was just like, how it hurts. Like it would hurt to stand up, but I didn't know. I didn't know about ACL. I didn't know about anything like that. So when the coaches were saying afterwards, they were like, it could be your ACL. I was like, well, what is that?
Yeah.
I started doing my research and I was like, man, well, what if it is that? Like I would need surgery. You know, you start reading online. Once they confirmed that it was ACL and like a meniscus tear, I was like, great. So like I'm gonna be out.
Yeah.
And so they're like, yeah, I mean, all you could do this season is they call it red shirt, and just wait till next year. And I was like, what? Like it was like, but I'm already here. You know, like I was thinking like, so I lose a year pretty much. Like what am I gonna do? And mentally, like I was just kind of thinking, I want to go back home. Maybe this was the wrong move. And I'm not going to recover. I was thinking I'm not going to recover. My leg's not going to be the same ever again. Because I had seen other athletes, you know, and their experience. So they were like, you just have to follow physical therapy. And I remember I had an amazing personal and physical trainer. Like, he's like, I can get you back on the field like in 6 months. He's like, but you have to follow what I'm telling you. And I was like, okay, yeah, sure. So every day we were out there, like he was doing physical therapy, stuff like that. And till this day, I'm like thankful for him because he got me back and like healthy. So like usually it takes maybe like 6 to 12 months for like ACL, and by like 6-7 months I was already back.
Yeah. So you did it all right, because
I did it all right.
I know you see athletes professional athletes, like for example, Kobe Bryant. He tore his Achilles, and they gave him like a time frame, like, oh, it's going to take like a year to 2 years. He came back sooner.
Yeah.
And you hear all these stories of these athletes just coming back sooner than what they're were projected because they do it right.
Yeah.
And I think that's very important that anyone that plays sports, if you take care of yourself during injury, you do it right, you do what you need to do, the rehab, the icing, the stretching, like it's going to take you a long way.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good thing for any athlete to know. And so you're recovering, you're there, and you come back. What was it like coming back from that? I'm sure it was kind of like you were a little bit timid because you're like, you don't know. It's like an injury that you said you've never heard about. But that process afterwards, what was it like coming back?
I was scared for sure. Going into tackles and just I was afraid. But I was like, okay, maybe I'm not strong enough. That's what I was thinking. I'm not like body wise. I'm not strong enough because I mean, if I post pictures back, I do look scrawny compared to like now. And I'm like, maybe I'm not strong enough. There's bigger girls out there. They're taller than me. I'm pretty short. So I was like, I need to find a way to like be better on the field, and that's how I got into strength training. So we had like strength and conditioning as part of our program, but it was like maybe twice a week. So other than that, I kind of did it myself, and just growing my quads more, and just so I could be stronger in case upper body as well, because so I could push, kind of protect myself. But it was hard. It was challenging at first. And then it was just kind of like, eventually the fear went away. Like, I'm like, I got this. Like, once I went in for the first tackle and I felt fine, I was like, all right, like I'm okay. I'm good. Like nothing's going to go wrong again. But there was still that fear, like, what if it could happen again? Because I had heard stories as well. Like some of my teammates had like torn their ACL twice, and some didn't even have a meniscus or something like that. I was like, you guys are playing like that, But yeah, the fear eventually went away.
Because I know as an athlete, whenever you come through obstacles, right, it's a mentality part to it. There's a lot of mentalness that goes into playing sports and overcoming, obstacles in sports. And so take me through the mental aspect of it, of, coming and overcoming that particular moment, and also what you took away from it, looking back on it.
So mentally, there were hard times. There was moments where I felt discouraged, but then during that time, I mean, you're kind of expected to be like mentally tough and show no emotions. So I think during that time, I want to say that I suppressed, what I call it now, because I'm going through therapy now, and we call suppressing our feelings. And looking back, I suppressed all the emotions that I was feeling, whether it was scared, afraid, anxious, or feeling like I'm maybe not a good enough player. I suppressed all that and kind of just like blocked whatever emotions were coming in, and just kind of focused on, I'm here for one reason, and I need to get through this. I need to get through school, because I really wanted to get good grades too. So it was just kind of like, whatever you're feeling, like, forget about it and just focus on one thing, like being the best player that you can out there, and then also as an athlete, a student. So it was, looking back, I'm like, man, I really didn't, I don't think I went through emotions back then, or unless I did, but I just remember like blocking everything. I just suppressed the feelings, and I see how it affected me now, in a way that it kind of like grew into me, like suppressing my feelings, forgetting about what I was feeling, or like blocking, distracting myself so I didn't feel what I was feeling. But now through therapy, I've learned like it's okay to feel what you feel.
Yeah.
It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel happy, overexcited. But yeah, I mean, I guess we're learning as we're evolving, you know.
Yeah, because that's the thing that, like, as athletes, right? And I agree with that. They teach you, okay, get up, next play, right? Move on, which is great. Those are great ways to teach, but how do you do that? I think is a lot of things that I notice coaches in general forget. You know, like for example, I used to coach football, and one of the things that we did last year is we would win games at the school that I was at, and they never used to win games. So it was a lot of like, they teach us, okay, you score a touchdown, act like you've been there before. Well, one of the head coach says like, well, a lot of these kids have never been there before. So how do you teach them how to like celebrate, enjoy, but then move on to the next one? A lot of the time it's like excessive celebration, and they get lost in the moment, and it affects them the next play. So I think that's very important for any coaches out there, or just anyone that's an athlete, right? It's like teach, learn how to do that, because it's easier said than done. But I think it's taking that time to learn how to feel those emotions, feel what you're feeling, dissect them, and then process them, and then move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So I think that's very key. And so you're there for 2 years, right? Usually college is 4 years. So did you come back early? Did you finish school earlier, or?
So after high school, I went to Evergreen Valley College in San Jose.
Okay.
I was there for 2 years, and then I transferred to William Penn in Iowa through soccer.
Okay.
So that's why I did 2 years, and then 2 years and a half over there. So yeah, I was like, I wanted to go to like a CSU, but I didn't get into the ones that I wanted to. And, you know, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know like other people who don't get into the schools they don't want to. They're like, I don't want to go anymore.
Yeah. Like, that was my one spot. Yeah.
So I kind of got discouraged, and then I heard about Evergreen Valley College and their soccer program. They had like really good like records. So I was like, let me reach out to the coach and see if there's tryouts or how does it work. And yeah, she was like, yeah, come over. We'd love to see you play and stuff like that. So then I went, tried out, and she was like, yep, we got it. We got you. Like, you can come over here, and we'd love to have you. So so I went there for 2 years, and then I transferred to William Penn. Nice.
Yeah, that's the one thing as athletes. So when we want to go to the next level, we look at the records. It's like, all right, where am I going?
Yeah.
You know, we want to make sure that it's like, so when I was in college, out of Cabrillo, I kind of looked into some places that called me, and I looked up the record for like the past 5 years. And someone was like, maybe, no, you know? So I think we want to be in a winning program. Yeah. So you're there, you finish your collegiate time. And so you come back to Salinas.
Yes.
What did you do right after?
I started working at, I think it's still a company, Tucci Learning Services. So as a behavior technician specialist, so working like with kids who have behavioral issues or maybe disabilities at the school level. So I did that, and I did it for 2 years, like 2 years and a half, maybe, I think, going on to 3, up until they shut down the schools because of COVID. That was when I completely stopped, because they stopped it. We stopped going in person. So I was just doing that pretty much. I would play soccer on the weekends, like the first year I came back. But college level to like Sunday league, I was just like, no, I'm going to get hurt over here. And there's no like personal trainers over here that are going to like get me through another ACL tear. So I was like, I just stopped. I was like, it needs to stop, and I kind of just have to let go of soccer for now,
Mhm.
you know, and focus on work, and also like I was still going to the gym, so it wasn't. I was like still into health and fitness, so I was like, I'm still gonna do that, but soccer just has to be like
Yeah.
on a
Yeah.
pause now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So you're still into like health and fitness, and so at what point did you really take it serious? Because you learned it, strength and conditioning in college.
Mhm.
You love to be active. At what point were you like, this is something that I really love,
Mhm.
and I want to take it serious and really buckle down and do something with it?
Um, I want to say maybe like in 2019 was when I really um, started to like dial in on fitness, and I even wanted to like do body competitions, like
Mhm.
bikini bodies and stuff like that, because it's what you see online and
Yeah.
stuff. And I was actually doing a program with a coach. I purchased one of his programs online, and I was following it, and I was like, okay, maybe I could do the body building thing.
Mhm.
And then I started reaching out to coaches, and I was like, so I have to pay like a coach to train me and do all this stuff. I was like, no, like, I kind of got discouraged because it was not cheap. So
Mhm.
I didn't know about it, but I was like, it's not cheap
Yeah.
to get like a coach to do the whole like NPC bodybuilding stuff. And so I was like, maybe not.
Yeah.
And then I started during the time. So this is where Fit Life started. During the time, I was meal prepping for myself. So then I had my uncle and his girlfriend at the time. They were like, hey, like we're trying to lose weight because it was close to summer. Can you help us? Like we see you do meal preps for yourself. Like can we? I still remember he said, can we be your guinea pigs? And I was like, sure. So yeah, I tested it out. I was like, and then I got the idea. I was like, maybe I should make meal preps for
Mhm.
people. And then I had other friends reaching out to me because they would see what I would post online and the meals that I would create. So they were like reaching out, do you sell these? And I'd be like, I don't know. I was still like unsure. Do I sell
Mhm.
them? Do I open up to people? Like family is family, but
Yeah.
people that I don't know or that I don't really engage with
Yeah.
often. I don't know.
And, and then plus it was like around COVID, right?
Yeah.
Like,
So this was in 2019.
so it's going into COVID a little bit.
Going into COVID. Yeah.
And at the time, like, you don't know because like
Mhm.
it's COVID, and you want me to cook for you too around that time. It's
Yeah.
like I don't know, like it's kind of up in the air.
Yeah.
And so you kind of dabbled in it.
Mhm.
And so, what was the reception from your uncle?
And so he started losing weight, but so this was another thing. I was feeding my uncle, who I don't know his weight right now, but I'm 130 pounds. I think at the time I was like maybe 125. And so I'm feeding him I'm feeding him, who he's maybe like 200 to 20 pounds, what I was eating,
Yeah.
So yeah, he was losing weight because he was pretty much kind of starving himself. And but I didn't know. So I was like also getting familiar with like what people eat, like,
The
and
science of it.
yeah, the science of it, and also like you're not gonna eat what I eat, because we're just body weight wise, like you should be eating like your body weight, protein wise, you should be like eating your body weight and stuff like that. But I lost my train of thought.
He's losing weight because he's
Yeah.
practically starving himself, and he's eating what you're eating, and the different body shapes. So you started learning. And so what did you do to start learning more about that?
Oh, so then I started looking online for programs, nutritional programs, because I was like, maybe I could be a coach, and then like a nutritional coach as well. And I was like, I know I work out and stuff like that. I know most of the movements. I could be a coach and just, yeah, that could be my thing now. So I looked online and I even purchased like the program from, I think it was called like ISSA, I think ISSA. And I was going through it, but it was too long. Honestly, it was boring.
Yeah.
I did learn quite a few things, but just to get through it, I was like, this is kind of boring. And I was like, maybe it's not for me. And so I kind of left it at that. And eventually started learning more through like social media, other coaches.
So self-taught.
Self-taught, pretty much. And that's just how I was like, okay, a person needs to eat this based on their weight or their calories that they want to intake, how active they are. And then eventually I started creating meals like that. And yeah.
Okay. I know we met at Envision.
Yeah.
Right. And so you were a coach in training, or what was your title there? You were
So I was a coach. I became a coach.
Coach, okay.
And I'm trying to remember as well, like when I started at Envision.
It's kind of like 21, because
Yeah, 21. It was a little bit after COVID, I believe.
After that first whole year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so how did you end up there at Envision?
So Christian and we were social media friends for a while. And I can't remember how we followed each other, but eventually it had been going on for a couple of years already.
Fitness people follow fitness people.
And then one day he reached out and he was like, hey, we would love to have you as a coach. I would love to have a female coach. I have a lot of male coaches, and female coaches I think are great for like female clients. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, that'd be cool. I would love to work there. But I was like, but I currently have a job. So he was like, well, what's your pay? So he was trying to like pay me better. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, if you're willing to learn and stuff like that, like I could pay you better over here. And I was like, okay, sure. So I was like fitness or like working with kids that I had been doing for a while already. And I was kind of losing interest. It was becoming a little like boring for me because it was now a home session versus being like at school.
Yeah.
And I think the kid and I already had gained like a really good relationship where I don't think he needed me anymore, which is why I think they terminated the services. And I was like, okay, well, I don't feel as bad like leaving him. And so I was like transitioning into going to the gym and learning. At the time, I think Caleb was the one that was I was shadowing Caleb and Christian at sometimes, and then and they were teaching me. I just kind of like teaching me through shadowing as well, and I was like, oh, I really like this. I really like.
Well, what a transition! You go from like working with kids, and then going into the fitness field. Obviously, two different areas, of work, and the change can be scary. It's almost like you just kind of like, okay, it's like you don't know this side of the county or the area, and then to just leave what you're used to something unknown. How scary was that? But how beneficial was it too?
It was a little intimidating more than anything because I was going into gym setting when the gyms were closed for a while. So I hadn't been to a gym in a long time because that after COVID or when COVID pretty much shut down the gyms, I was like, I'll just work out at home. Yeah. And from there, I was just like, I'm not going back to the gyms. And so it was intimidating. One, because it was all male trainers, and then also like having people trust me, like that I am going to get them to their weight goals or fitness goals. And I was like, what if they don't like me,
Yeah.
you know, or what if they're like, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I was like, it was a little intimidating, but Christian and like the guys were really good at training me and like molding me into like that female trainer that
Yeah.
they wanted.
Yeah, because I know, again, being like a former coach, it's easy to coach kids, youth, you know, but it's a different thing coaching adults, because, you know, as adults, we're just kind of like, some are stuck on their ways, and, you know, especially if you're been working out longer than someone, it's like, well, I know better, or it's like taking direction while you're at the gym. It's kind of intimidating. And then for me, because I've been there, I just like to like get in the zone, and I kind of tune everything out. So sometimes when I was working out, someone would come like critique me or kind of give me advice. It's like, whoa, it's like I get lost in this moment of like, I was in the zone and you just interrupted. But like, I get it. It could be intimidating. And so you did that for how many years? About 2 years?
I did it for a year because then I got pregnant.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got pregnant, and that's when the Christian and I had this conversation, like, it's a high-risk pregnancy, and, you know, I think it's just better if I focus on my...
Yeah.
And then I was like, I can't be waking up, like, at 3:30 in the morning, you know.
All the way to Watsonville for that.
So he was like, yeah, I think that's a right move, you know, and I was just like, but, you know, thanks a lot for, like, everything, because I did learn a lot through them, and I gained customers as well for Fit Life. I learned macros and how to apply that to my business. So I learned a lot.
Yeah. So you start Fit Life during that time that you're there, right? How, again, it seems like there's like a lot of starting new, a lot of things. How scary was that to start a business, or how exciting was that to start a business? And when did Fit Life become official?
So I had been doing Fit Life, but I never had the name. So I just had Gracie Meal Preps, I guess you could call it. And I started that like in 2019. And I had a lot of clients. Till this day, I still have some that have been following me since like day one. And I had a lot of people like wanting meals and stuff like that. And eventually, you know, you lose clients, you gain clients, new, old, based off on like going on prices, because I was sticking to one price. And then eventually I was like, man, I'm losing money because prices were going up, but I didn't really keep up with that at first. So it was also learning how to keep up with the prices of, you know, groceries, and
Inflation is real.
So it was a little challenging to get used to it, and even now then it's still pretty challenging to get used to like losing clients because of your price increase. But I was very excited. I was like, this is something that I want to do. And until this day, I'm like, it hasn't stopped. I haven't stopped. So I'm like, Fit Life became like official, like the name became official. When was it? Last year in July. Like I actually created like a license for it and stuff like that. But maybe 2 years ago, I created like the name Fit Life. And the reason Fit Life came because I was known as the fit girl growing up. And it was like, you're all into that fit life. You're all into that gym life. So then I was like, Fit Life. But I had to change the I to a Y because Fit Life was already like a thing in another state. So I was like, want to create it different. Like, so that's how Fit Life meals was created.
Yeah. And honestly, like I was one of your customers for a while, and let me tell you, like those meals were like amazing. People usually think like, oh, it's healthy or like, you know, it's not gonna taste good because you're cutting flavor out. No, actually, they were very flavorful and very filling. Like sometimes, like I would have my meals for the day, and so I'd eat one for lunch, and I'm like, gosh, it's so good. So like an hour later, I'm like, all right, I'll eat it again. I'll just worry about, you know, my next meal later. But like they're very good, very filling. One of my favorite ones that you had was the Korean beef bowl. That's a good one.
Oh yeah,
that's a really good one. And so how do you come up with these recipes? How do you make it so where they're still healthy, they're still affordable, but then they still pack a lot of flavor?
I go based off on what people like, but also like what I like. So I'm like, if I like something from, I don't know, Chipotle, but I don't know what ingredients Chipotle has or what kind of like oils or like sauces they use, because honestly, when I eat Chipotle, I feel kind of like sick, bloated, and I'm like, maybe it's too much food or it's something that they put in the food. I don't know. But so if it's something that if I want to create like a Chipotle chicken bowl, I'm like, okay, how can I make it healthier? Using less ingredients, like oil wise, using the healthy oils. Like we use avocado oil and olive oil for the majority of the part, and then like using just basic like condiments, nothing too fancy but still flavorful. Creating our own sauces versus like buying them, that some are like have been in the shelves for like, I don't know, months. And I think that's just a way of reducing like all the processed foods and stuff like that, because I mean, everything that if you go out to eat something, like most of the time everything's processed. Like there's nothing better than having like a home cooked meal, you cooking it yourself and knowing what's going in there versus like going out and buying it. And so that's been my goal, and just having a healthier, balanced meal. Sorry, I lost my train.
What's your?
I'm like chemo brain.
What's your favorite meal? What's your favorite one that you make?
Personally, my personal favorite is the chicken Cusco. I think that's how you say it, Cusco. So it's like chicken thighs marinated like with Italian seasoning, and it's like Cusco pasta with like olive oil, feta cheese, cherry tomatoes, and like arugula. Oh, and garbanzos. And that's personally one of my favorite ones, because I really like feta cheese, and just like the mixture of it, it just tastes really good. But pastas are really good too, or just even like the basic ones, just like
because there's a few times where I'm like, hey dude, like I sent you a text message or a message, I'm like, hey, where did you get this? Because like this, I've had pasta before, and I think one of the pastas was like the marinara meat sauce pasta. It's like, it tasted so good, you know. And I asked you where you got it from. You're like, oh yeah, this is this brand. I'm like, wow, like you use quality, like the best, well-rounded brand foods, which is really great. And so I've seen your growth from when you kind of started, you know, during that time at Envision where I met you to now, and I've seen the journey on social media of how you went from cooking in your home, then you went to a commercial kitchen.
Yes.
And so how's that journey been to get to starting from just cooking for your uncle to now? I mean, in such a short period of time, you've come a long way. Talk about that journey and like the excitement of it, but also what's been a difficult thing about being a business owner, especially because, again, prices going up, still kind of in that COVID era, right? So what's it been like?
So yeah, like, thanks for reminding me. I totally forgot I was cooking out of my parents' kitchen. And that's just how it started for a few years. And it was like crazy on Sundays. Like Sundays, it was like like my parents knew that it was going to be like,
we're going to eat out today because you're going to be cooking.
And sometimes I had them helping me too, like package orders and stuff like that, because it became to the point where it was like, this is too crazy. And the reason why I decided to look elsewhere was, one, I didn't want to burn down my parents' kitchen. Also, because I had 2 little ones already, and I had been trying to do what I was doing before they even came, in my parents' kitchen, and it was just impossible because they would see me and they wanted me to either hold them, to do something, play with them, and it would just kind of delay the whole the day. So because it was just me and I had another person helping me at the time, and I was like, I can't be cooking like 200 meals and then still trying to be mom. So I need to leave and be focused, because it's only one day. I was like, it's only one day that I'm getting. Wednesdays weren't as crazy because we do Sundays and Wednesdays, but Sunday is where everybody wants their orders for the week.
Yeah.
So I was like, I got to look elsewhere. I started searching online. And at first I was like, but here my parents, I pay rent, but it's already like included in my house, you know, like in my, it's like a house rent, you know? So it was like, if I pay elsewhere, I'm going to have to pay double rent here and then rent over there. And who knows how much they're going to charge me. So, I started looking, I started searching, and then there was no kitchens that were nearby. There was like the Pájaro, I forgot, Pájaro commercial kitchen, I think. Yeah. And I had reached out, and there was like a wait list. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to get in there. And I still put my application in it, but till this day I haven't heard back. So maybe they just forgot. So I started looking on Craigslist, and then I saw one that said commercial kitchen in Moss Landing, and I was like, oh, okay, that's nearby, because all of them were like San Jose, Santa Cruz, and I was like, there's none here. I was even trying to see if local businesses here like would rent their kitchen to me, but I was thinking, I was like, no, I kind of just want my own. So reached out to the landlord. He's like, yeah, sure, come on. We're taking like 2 more applicants. So he's like, it's a shared kitchen, but you'll have your space. You put your hours that you're going to be there, and we kind of like, not block it, but make sure that there's room. Yeah. So I did that, and I was like super excited. I was like, okay. He's like, rent's going to be so much. I was like, okay, I could do it. Because like Fit Life at the time was like over here, like I was like doing good. The business was doing good. And I was like, okay, perfect. So yeah, I was pretty excited about it. Getting like licenses, permits. And I was just like, all right. So I was like thinking, do I need a team now, or how does that work? Because it was just me and another girl. So eventually she got hurt, and I was like, great. So I'm like, it's just me now. And there was times it was just me. It was like, I was trying to cook like 150 meals or like 200 meals. And, I had to break it down like Saturday, Sunday, because I could not be there the whole time. And that was a difficult part, finding somebody that would want to work just on a weekend, for 5, 6, 7 hours. And I was doing all the deliveries too. So it was Sundays, like it was a lot. I would leave like in the morning, by 8 a.m. And then sometimes I'd be back. I mean, I would come home to drop stuff off, but then I would, leave again and be home by like 9, 10 p.m. because I was doing it all. Like I wanted to do it all, because I was like,
I could do this.
Yeah, I could do this. Like I was like, yeah, like it's okay. But then I was burning myself out. I realized that I was getting to a point where I was like, "Ah, this is too much. Like, I can't do this. And so then I started looking for another worker. And I posted like an ad online, and I had a few people reach out. I was like, delivery person, person in the kitchen, experience, like just basic kitchen, you know. It doesn't mean like I'm gonna have you cooking up a bunch of stuff, but just basic kitchen, like experience. And I had one reach out, and she's like, yeah, like, you know, I'm coming from Gonzales, like, sure. And I was like, are you sure? Like, you know, it's might be a drive, but it's just on a Sunday. And yeah, since then she's been with me, so she's still holding on, and nice. I appreciate her, because there's like, now that I'm going through my cancer journey, she and her husband like take on the role. They know what to do, and so they kind of like, because at first I was like very worried. I was like, is the business gonna stop because you know, I'm going through cancer now? And she was like, no, like, we got you. So I was like, thank you. You know.
So it's been a journey.
It's been a journey.
Yeah, it's some ups and downs. In the middle of that, and I want to, before we move forward, you got pregnant, right?
Yes.
So you left Envision because you got pregnant, and you said it was a high risk pregnancy, and so you're trying to like run a business. You're trying to still stay fit, and on top of that, you're going to have twins.
Yep.
Yeah. You're going to have twins, because I remember you posted that. I'm like, oh, twins. Like, you know, does twins run in your family?
So I guess we realized that, I guess they do.
Because it kind of skips a generation.
Yeah. I mean, till this day, we don't know, because doctors say yes, some say no. If you look like identical twins, it says they usually don't run in families, or like it has to be like passed down by either mom or dad. But then my grandma says, my grandma from my dad says that she was going to have twins, but that was her last pregnancy, and it didn't go through. So she's like, yeah, maybe I passed it down to you. So I'm like, okay, yeah, sure.
Thanks, Grandma.
Yeah, thank you.
And so what's it been like? Not just being a mother, but being a mother to twins.
Yeah.
You know?
It was challenging, too. I'm like, everything's challenging. But, so, you know, I have this business going. I'm working at a gym, and I feel like everything's going good because I'm into what I love to do. And then I get pregnant, and I'm like thinking, well, I could still work out. I could still do all this. And, yeah, I was doing great in the pregnancy. Luckily, there was no complications. I think I only got food poisoning once, but everything was good. And once they came, it was like, oh, well, now I have to kind of stop again. It felt like a pause. And I took maybe like 2 weeks off when the twins were born from like cooking. And then afterwards, it was like, okay, let's go again. Because I didn't want the business to stop, because that's where I was getting my income from. So I was like, if that stops, then there's no money. You know? And I'm like, I need it with the twins.
And I got to say, like, from when you gave birth and to starting, right, those 2 weeks, like, it was pretty quick. Like, I remember, you know, again, seeing everything through social media, gave birth, and you're back at it again. I'm like, whoa. And then you kind of started working out not too long afterwards as well. It's like, whoa. Like, that's
like, slow down.
It's like, it's not common for women to just jump back into the saddle, but you did. And it's like, whoa, okay.
It was mainly because, so I had a C-section, and then I wanted to recover from that one properly too. So whether it was massaging my scar and like the incision, and I was just like, I have to start, even if it's slow. I wanted to like jump right in there, but I was like, I need to take it slow. I had to remind myself constantly, like, take it slow, because you don't want to get hurt, or you don't want to like open up your incision and get injured. And so it took a little time, and luckily I had a lot of help. I had help from my parents, family members, and then um, the girl that was with me at the time, she was helping me like with the cooking and stuff like that. And I was like, even if it takes longer, but it's okay, we're still going. I had to be like okay with that. Because for me, it was like, oh no, I have to be done by like 5, 6 p.m. so I could do deliveries and stuff like that. But I had to adjust.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what's been the joy of being a mother? What's been motherhood been like for you?
It's been great. There's been seasons. I call them seasons. The first year looking back, I'm like, everything was like a blur. And good thing I took videos and pictures because, there were sleepless nights. There was postpartum, and feeling that first year, I felt like so happy, but so alone at the same time. Even though I had 2 little ones, like that I was like filled with joy, but I just felt lonely at times. And it was just part of like postpartum depression, anxiety, learning how to be a mom, wanting to be the best mom already, like, and not even knowing what motherhood is, exactly. But like now I'm like, I love being a mom. Like, they're so fun. Yeah, they throw their tantrums. They don't listen right now. Like, they're like three-nagers. I call them three-nagers because they have their little attitudes. They're so different yet so alike. And I'm like, they make me laugh. They're like funny little characters. And I'm like, man, I really created these 2 humans. Like, I literally had you guys in my belly, and now you guys are out. But like, they're like half my size already, but
and they're starting to speak now, right?
Yeah, they're starting to speak now too. So that's another thing. It's been challenging because as mothers, you want the best for your children, or you start like comparing, like, oh, my child isn't doing this, isn't doing that, or like, so for myself, it was challenging because they weren't speaking, and for me, I was like, why aren't they talking? Like, they should be talking already. Like, not even mama, not even papa. And they would just babble a lot. They would talk within each other, like babble, and they would understand each other. And till this day, they still babble each other some words. And I'm like, they understand each other, but I'm like trying to make sense of what they're saying. And so for me, the challenging part was like accepting, like, they have a speech delay. And I have to be okay with that. So, and I went to get them like assessed for like autism or like any other disabilities, because you see things online and you want to make sure. Yeah. So I was like, I need to know, like, is there a problem? Why they're not speaking, or están like chiquiados, and luckily they said, there's no signs of autism, at least not yet. They're like, they just have a speech delay. So now they're getting speech therapy and they're starting to talk a little bit more. And I'm like, okay, finally, Rafael is saying mama. And now that he learned to say mama, he won't stop saying mama. So,
mama, like that little Stewie.
Yeah. So that was a challenging part, like, for me in motherhood, accepting that it's okay if your child has a delay, or it's okay if your child isn't meeting their milestones yet, and because, you read, oh, your child should be doing this at 0 to 3 ages. So it was accepting and just being like okay with it.
Yeah. One thing about, I think parents in today's age, and I've seen it with a lot of fitness parents, and I think people are starting to catch on to it, where they want to feed their kids proper food, right? And then being someone who's in fitness, in the meal prep business, how important does that play a role in being a mother? Because what do they say? That your child watches you. So whatever you do, they're going to do.
Yeah.
So is it difficult to like build on those habits, like having good habits And you've done it for years, so it seems like you know what you're doing. But do you ever get like, man, I got to make sure I'm like on point because my kids are watching, my kids are eating, you know, setting that example?
Yes. I think the first 2 years, I was really good at watching what they were eating, not wanting to have them eat like processed food, sugar, and they were okay with it. They would eat whatever I would give them. And then I don't know, there was like a switch or what, but it was like, I don't want to eat what you're giving me. So, and it's frustrating, very frustrating, because that, like you said, there's like fitness, health, like you want your child to eat good. It's been challenging with my boys, like that they don't want to eat sometimes, like eggs in the morning that I feed them. And sometimes I'm like, so what do I feed you? Like, what do you want?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's hard. Like, I'm like, so it's like, give them food that they want, whether it's not good for them, like, I don't know, McDonald's, chicken nuggets, pizza, or have them starve.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm like, okay, maybe we can get chicken nuggets, right? And then I'm like, okay, but then for dinner or if it's lunch, give you guys something that
It's healthy.
is healthy.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I'm not gonna have you guys eat just whatever throughout the whole day.
Yeah.
And that's been, honestly, it's been challenging, and it's like something that we as a family talk about, because they're growing and it's good for their, I mean, it's part of their developmental, like, brain as well, like
The process.
the process, having them eat healthy foods. If you're feeding your kid like sugar and like processed foods, then that's what, it doesn't really help with their development.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, oh, you guys, like in the morning, they want like ice cream or like bolis, and I'm like, it's 9 o'clock in the morning, like, no.
Shoot, I want ice cream in the morning.
You know, and I'm like, no, like, and then, but they test me, because they kind of go to the fridge and they're like pointing to the fridge and they're like that, and I'm like, no, and with the smile, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they walk away, and I'm like, you guys are just, no, you guys need to eat.
And then one thing is like keeping track on one, but you're keeping track of two, you know. Do you ever confuse them? Or?
When they get haircuts, yes, because they look exactly the same. Right now, no, I don't confuse them at all. Sometimes I will, like if they come up to me, or if one comes up to me and like I'm not like looking at their face, and I'll be like, oh, Leonel, and then I look, I'm like, oh wait, you're Rafa. But no, for the most part, I know who they are.
Because I've had friends that were twins and identical, you know, and I went to school with people that were twins. Like, even as adults, like, I can't tell who you are. Even sometimes, like relatives, it's like, oh, you look exactly like your cousin.
Yeah,
you know, I don't even know who you are. It's twins.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're raising twins. You're in the business of being a business owner, right? And you're getting fit. It's your lifestyle. Recently, you got a diagnosis of breast cancer, and you've been very vocal about it. Your journey on your stories, on your social media about it. And when did this happen? When was your first diagnosis, or when did you notice something was wrong?
So I honestly, like, didn't have any symptoms. The only symptom that I could think of was two symptoms, right? But major symptoms where there's like complete changes, like in my breast, there weren't none. So the only thing that I felt was a lump, and it felt like a mini golf ball, hard but kind of movable in a sense. And this was back in May. It was in May
of this year.
May 2025. And I only felt it because I was changing, and I'm not one to be like self-examining my breasts, because in my mind, I never thought I would ever have breast cancer. But one day I was changing, and I was like wearing a sports bra and fixing my breast, and that's when I felt the lump. And I was like, is this right? And
did that pop in your head right away? This could be that?
And no,
It was just kind of like,
yeah, I was just like, what is it? And I even thought it was maybe like old milk from breastfeeding, because prior, I think a year after I had the boys, I was breastfeeding, and I went to see my gynecologist, and she also she felt a lump, same breast, and I was even feeling like, where, like, but you know, doctors, they can feel, they know, they've had their experience. So she had me go get an ultrasound, and then it ruled out it's old milk, like I don't know, like a milk, like a little milk ball.
oh, so you went through the process?
Yeah, I already had gone through through an ultrasound. Year like 20. I'm like, when were the twins born? At 2023. I went to go get an ultrasound, and they ruled it out that it wasn't anything suspicious. So they're like, it will eventually go away. And so thinking back, because they have records, they even said, what if it was the same one that we detected 2 years ago?
Yeah.
But it just grew into breast cancer, like a breast cancer cell. And so that's something that I mean, I haven't heard anything about it, but doctors did say it could have been that. It just kind of formed into, it got bigger as the years went, and you just noticed it.
Yeah.
And I also had like really bad like breast pain. But I just thought, I didn't think anything of it. I just thought like,
this is normal.
This is normal. Like maybe I'm jumping too much for my workouts, running. I didn't think anything of it. So so this was in May. I remember asking my partner to also check my breast. I was like, does this feel normal? Is it part of my breast? I asked my mom as well, because she's a woman. And she's like, yeah, that's not right. Like, you need to go check. You need to go get it checked. And then I thought, okay, so where do I go?
Yeah.
And then I was due for a wellness exam. So I made an appointment with my doctor, and it was pretty quick. Like, to get an appointment there, it was pretty quick. He saw me like within the week, and he confirmed the lumps, but he also said, he told me they could be hormonal. They could be hormonal when you're on your menstrual cycle. They could be cysts, but they're not always cancerous.
Yeah.
So he's like, don't freak out.
So it's like, we don't know. So
Yeah.
it gives you some sort of like relief, like, okay, it might not be what it is.
Yeah.
Right. But then you still got a second opinion afterwards, or what
so
was the process after that?
Yeah, it was a process. So he was like, I will refer you to the breast center at here in Salinas, and I'll send a referral. They'll contact you to get an ultrasound. And he's like, I'm sure it's nothing. I remember him saying that. I'm sure it's nothing. And I was like, okay. So waiting to get a call from the breast center. And it took maybe about a week for them to call me. But they're like, our next appointment isn't until July 18th. So this was in May. And
May, June.
Yeah. So, you start thinking things like, what if? I was even looking online, like, these are my symptoms. What could it be? And then breast cancer did pop up, but I was like, I can't have breast cancer. Like, I was like, my mom doesn't have it. Nobody in my family has it.
It doesn't run at all.
I was like, nobody has it. Who who could have passed it down to me? And so I was like, rule that out. That can't be it. It's maybe a cyst, some type that might have to be removed. Who knows? And I told my mom, like, hey, my appointment isn't until July 18th. Like, what do you think? And she's like, well, you have to go see another doctor. That might get your referral sooner. So that's what I did. I went to go see another doctor who's not my primary doctor, and told him, you know, what I was feeling. And then he's like, I'm going to tell them that there's like bleeding in the nipple, because he's like, sometimes you have to exaggerate to get in. Yeah. He's like, I don't want to, but he's like, I need to get you in, because it's just better to rule anything out. Yeah. Or if it is something, like
catching it sooner.
Yes. So he did a referral. He sent me to 2. So he got one in Monterey, but the one in Monterey didn't take my insurance. So they're like, sorry, we can't do it. You either pay out of pocket or, and I'm like, no thanks. So I waited for the one here in Salinas, and my appointment to see them was in June, early June. Can't remember the date, but so I was like, okay, like within 2 weeks, I think maybe 2 weeks and a half max, I'll know if it's something serious or not. I was even thinking they're going to tell me the same thing that they told me 2 years ago, probably all the milk, like from breastfeeding. They asked me a bunch of questions when I was there, the ultrasound lady, and I was like, this is what's going on, this is where my breast is, and so they're like, okay, and they give you the results right away. If it's the ultrasound, they give you the results right away. They didn't want to do a mammogram because I wasn't at least 30 yet. Yeah. They're like, we don't do mammograms for women under 30. I was like, okay, you know. So then they did the ultrasound, took a while, and then went to the waiting room. They called me back in, and she's like, I remember she was like, we found something suspicious. We actually found 2 suspicious things. We're going to have to do biopsies. And then I immediately thought, like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, you know,
like you're confused.
What's a biopsy? Like, what do you mean suspicious findings? Like, what? Like, and so I started researching what's a biopsy, because she told me right then and there what it was, or how the process worked. But I was like, at the moment, you're just like, you're not thinking clearly. Yes. They're telling you these things. You're just kind of like, okay. Yeah. So I'm like freaking out. I'm like thinking, what is it? Start doing my research. And they're like, oh, you know, it's further tests because they need to remove like samples from whatever they found. So I was like, okay. And this was like maybe a few days later, they're like, come in to get your biopsy done. And so it's not like a surgery, is that they can kind of cut into it a little bit? Yeah, so it's like a big needle. Mm-hmm. So they do like a small incision, and then they do a big needle that reaches it. Is it painful? So they put numbing cream. So they inject you with numbing cream, and then when they doing I just remember the click of the needle, because it's like click, and then it like spread, like, I don't know, like expands the needle into the body. But it wasn't painful. You feel the pain like afterwards, after the numbing cream wears off, but nothing too major. Yeah. So they did, so while they were doing that biopsy for the specific one that I felt, then later on, as they were doing it, they were like, hey, we found another small one. Like, is it okay to biopsy that one too? And I was like, well, sure. I mean, you're already doing one. Might as well do the other one. So so they did that. They did 2 biopsies in that same day. And then they placed like markers for any future surgeries or whatever. They're like, in case we have to go and do a biopsy again. Yeah. So I was like, okay. So I left there. I was like, okay. They're like, we'll let you know like within a week. So this was like in June 23rd when I got the biopsy. And I remember it was a Monday or Tuesday. Can't remember. But they're like, within a week, we'll let you know. We'll call you if we tell you like, hey, Gracie, you need to come in. She's like, it's most likely not good. She's like, it's something more serious. But if we tell you over the phone your results, you're okay. Yeah. You're clear. And I was like, okay. So patiently waiting, like anxiously, like, okay, like praying, you know, like, and my birthday was the 29th. It was on a Sunday. So I was even thinking, like, I'm going to be, like, celebrating if I get the call on Friday. Yeah. Or I'm going to be crying. So I was, like, just waiting. Yeah. The weekend goes by, nothing. And I'm, like, thinking, well, maybe they haven't called me because it's nothing serious. Mm-hmm. And I... celebrate my birthday. Monday comes, still no call. Then
the anticipation, I can imagine. Like, it's like you wanted to know what's going on, and it's just like, well, where you guys at?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm like thinking, does it take this long just to find out, you know, mm-hmm. like what it is? And I'm thinking, I start thinking the worst, and then I start thinking, like, there's probably nothing wrong. The worst for me was, like, I have a cyst, and it's probably going to have to be removed. Yeah. But I didn't know what kind of, what it was. So then on Tuesday, they called me in the morning, and I remember I'm, like, with my mom chatting up with her, and they're like, we have your test results. Can you please come in Wednesday? Oh, my God. When she said, please come in Wednesday, I was like, oh, it's something bad. Because I remember her saying.
Yeah, the way she said it. Yeah. Was there a specific way she said it that just kind of...
She was very kind of like serious. But I just feel like most of them are like very, like kind of like neutral. But she's like, is it okay for you to come in on Wednesday? And I told her, yeah, I mean, what time, you know? And
so more waiting.
Yes, more waiting.
It's so like you would think like, hey, come in right away.
Right.
Because you, yeah.
Yeah. So then I have to wait like another 12 hours. And then I start to cry. I started to cry in front of my mom. Like, Mom, she said to go in. Like, I remember her saying, or like not her, but maybe the other nurse saying that if they call me in, it's something more serious. So like, what does that mean? And she's like, everything's gonna be okay. You know, don't worry. Like, God is good. And I was just like, yes, okay. Like, still positive. I go in that day. And apparently the doctor who was going to tell me my results was busy. And I'm like, oh my God. They're like, wow. there's a delay. He's like doing some surgery. I don't know, something urgent. So they're like, can you wait a little bit? I was like, yeah, I'm already here. Yeah. And then they get me into the waiting room, and it's nice. I mean, it's very calm. They have like music going on. They have snacks, coffee.
And at this moment, like I said, like they tell you they're gonna call you. They don't call you. Mm-hmm. Then they tell you to come in the next day, not right away. You're coming in. Oh, now you gotta wait again.
Yes.
So it's like a lot of waiting. Mm-hmm. So I can only imagine the anxious, the stress, but like, describe to me those feelings. Like, what is it? Just like the unknown.
I was very anxious, and what honestly was going through my mind was like, what, like, is it? Honestly, if I'm being honest, cancer did not run in my mind. Like, it did not cross my mind. I was just thinking like, I was getting anxious because I was like thinking, well, like, what is it? Like, what is suspicious about the mass that you felt, mm-hmm. or masses that you found? Like, what, I feel them too, but what are they, you know? And like I said, breast cancer never crossed my mind because I thought you would get breast cancer, like somebody passed it down to you.
Yeah.
And that's just how I grew up. You hear about it, you hear about it, you kind of like, okay, breast cancer's there. And now that I'm going through it, I've learned that breast cancer is not just hereditary. It's also, it can be passed down. Like, I mean, you can have like a genetic mutation, and also the different types of breast cancers that there are. There's like, I thought there was only one.
That's what I thought too. Yeah.
You know, so it's all like becoming like knowledgeable about all this. And so I was just thinking like maybe like cyst.
Yeah.
And I just thought I'm gonna have to get surgery, but why are they calling me in? Like, and even when I'm there, like I'm just like waiting, and I start to feel anxious. When I get anxious, I start to, I forget how to breathe.
Like a panic attack.
Yeah. And then I just started listening to, I started listening to like a meditation while I was in the spa room, because they called me and changed me into my robe, and they're like, we're gonna have to do like an ultrasound afterwards again to see like where the biopsies are, and I was like, okay. So then they finally called me in, and I remember it was a male nurse, and he was like, Graciela, and he's like, I'll be right with you. And I was like, okay, like, you know, yeah, like I was like, just get me in already. Like, I want to go in. And I even thought, it crossed my mind because he was so cheerful, like he was like happy. I was like, oh, it's probably something good, you know, because of his tone of voice. He was like, I'll be right with you, smiled and everything. And I was like, okay, it gave me some relief. They take me into the room, and he's like, so I'm gonna call in the radiologist, and she's gonna tell you your results. And I'm like, okay. So he's like, let me go get her. So I'm like waiting. I'm like, thinking like, okay, finally I'm gonna be told what it is. Yeah. And so she comes in. And she's like asking me how I'm doing. I'm just like, I'm patiently waiting for what you're going to tell me. And she's like, looks at me, she sits down, and she's right in front of me. She's like, kind of like where you're at. And then the male nurse is right there, male RN. And he's already like with the tissue box. So I'm even thinking like kind of like freaking out a bit.
Yeah, because it almost feels like an ambush. Like, yeah.
And she's like, you know what? She's like, Graciela, like, we got your test results back, and they came back cancerous. Both of them, like, both came back positive for cancer, breast cancer. I was like, I froze. I literally froze, like, kind of like, can you repeat that again? You know? And I was just like, breast cancer? And she's like, I was like, no, I can't have breast cancer. And she's like, they came back positive for breast cancer. And I was just like, I remember I kind of just, I'm like remembering, having flashbacks of that moment. And just like how I'm crying right now is kind of just how I started to cry. And I was in shock. I was like, no. And she was like, this is what, she gave me my pathology. She's like, your cancer is, she's like, we need to do another biopsy later on, maybe in a week. But she's like, it's ER and HER2 positive. She's like, it's invasive ductal carcinoma, grade 2. I immediately asked her, like, what stage? Like, how bad is it?
Because they're giving you all these like scientific professional terms that you're like, what does this mean?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, the invasive. Like, I was like trying to like get it in my mind, and I was like, never heard of it. She's like, it's a type of breast cancer. It's the most common in women. She's like, it's a grade 2, so it means it's growing, but not fast growing. And then I was like, so what stage? Like, how bad is it? And she's like, we can't tell you the stage right now because we still have to do further tests to see. She's like, the way staging works is like, we look at how big the tumors are, if it's spread. And she's like, I can't tell you that right now. But she's like, it's not fast growing. And I was like, okay. And then she's like the male nurse, she pointed out, he's going to give you all the information. We have all your appointments set up for, MRIs, surgery consultant, radiation consultant. So they're like throwing a bunch of stuff at me. Like,
and do you have anyone with you, family with you at this moment? It's just you.
It's just me. So nobody came with me at the appointment. My parents had gone on vacation. So my mom was literally like, just call me when you're done. She was like patiently waiting too. She had planned this trip like months ago. So it was like, when she knew that I had to go, she didn't even want to go to the trip because she was like, I want to go with you and like, no, what's up? And I was like, no, go. Like, I was like, dude, go. Like, I'm gonna be fine. Mm-hmm. I'm like, nothing's wrong with me. And then my partner, he was at work too. He couldn't take the day off. So I was just like, I didn't ask anybody to go with me because I was 100% sure it was not going to get bad. Yeah, it was not going to be anything like cancer. So they told me, they gave me all this information, and I was just like, I'm sorry, but she's like, I know it's a lot. She's like, and it's okay. She's like, I do recommend, when you go to your next appointments to bring somebody with you, but because it's good to have a second set of ears. She's like, do you have any questions? I was just like, no. Like, I looked at her and I was like,
the sheer shock of it is just like left you speechless because you didn't know how to. Yeah.
And she's like, well, we're here for you. You have a really good team behind you, and all these things. The guy starts explaining all my appointments. He starts telling me, like, I know you're thinking the worst. You're probably thinking I'm gonna die. In my head, I was not thinking I was gonna die. I was just thinking, cancer? Like, what does that mean? Like, in terms of breast cancer, like, why do I have it? That's what I thought. Like, that was my question. Like, why do I have breast cancer? Because I remember even telling them, like, but I'm so healthy. And they're like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how healthy you are. Like, I'm like, I work out.
I exercise. I get my 8 hours of sleep. I'm working out every day. I'm active. I'm eating. Yeah, I can imagine.
And he's like, the thing about cancer is it doesn't discriminate. It actually doesn't really choose, our healthy people. It just, and
I'm very happy that you're able to open up about this and share your story, because since your diagnosis and since all this has begun, you've been very vocal on social media, sharing your journey, sharing positivity, and also sharing your vulnerableness. And so you have everything. You have your children. You have your business. You're doing what you love. What's changed in the sense that, like, how did you approach things from that moment on? Like, what changed and what got you kind of to keep on going?
So, honestly, I was in denial for a while. I was in denial for maybe a month. I didn't feel like I had breast cancer, and it was just like still continuing to do what I love to do. I had stopped running because the doctor recommended, my doctor recommended, like, don't run because, you know, we don't know what you have, but it could cause like more, I don't know, more problems within your breast.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I started to run. Like literally the day after I got my results, I went on a run because I was like, I was training for, I'm still training for the Monterey Bay Half Marathon. And
I'm still going to do it.
yeah, I'm like, I'm still going to do it. So, you know, I was at my peak. I was like, I'm the healthiest. Like, I'm feeling good. I had done like races, the Spartan race, and I had signed up for the Monterey Half Marathon. And I was even thinking of doing a high rocks race, like all these things, right? I was like, I feel good. And then, well, this comes. And it feels like a shock. Like, well, what happens? Do I have to go through chemotherapy? How do I get rid of it?
Yeah.
You know, or how does that work? What's my journey going to look like? So after accepting, after going through all these appointments, because for a month it was pretty much like appointments, mammogram, another biopsy, meeting with my surgeon who would possibly do my surgery, and radiation if I do get radiation later on, getting MRIs, and it was like a lot.
It's like everything changed. Like there's like so many appointments, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you kind of keep up with it? Because it's like so much.
Luckily, they gave me a paper, and I was just able to, and I just logged it into my phone, and I was able just to work around that. And my business didn't stop.
Which I give you props. I mean, resilient is the word I will use to describe you. Mm-hmm. You know, it just doesn't. You didn't stop. And why? Why didn't you stop?
So that was another thing. I talked to the girl who is still with me. I talked to her, and I was like, "Hey, like, I just found out I have breast cancer. I don't know what my treatment will look like. I don't know how chemo will affect me because I've seen current breast cancer people online, like influencers, more people that have like thousands of views, right? And because I started looking up women to follow and kind of like guide me or like support. So I was like, I don't know how it will affect me. I don't know when my surgery will be, how long chemo will be yet. But I was like, maybe business is going to have to stop like at some point. And she's like, no. She's like, no, like, you know, I will take over like the days that you don't feel good. And like, yeah, I mean, if you have to take a weekend off, I understand. She's like, but for the most part, we'll make it work. And I was like, okay. And yeah, so we've made it work. You know, my first round of chemo, it was something new. I felt tired and like kind of like out of it, but that Sunday I still went to cook.
Yes, you know what? And to everyone that's watching, if you follow her on social media,
oh my God.
How?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know how you did it. Like, because how long is chemo? It was like a few hours.
So the first one was 5.5 hours.
So you're sitting for 5.5 hours,
mm-hmm.
getting the treatment,
mm-hmm.
and you decide, you know what? I'm done here. I got to go run my business.
Yeah.
How and why?
So I think it was kind of like a shock to my body because I had chemo on Thursday. Friday, I still felt tired, but I think I was like on the medication that I was just still going through. Like I just felt slow, but nothing too crazy. And then Saturday came, I still felt good. I was like, man, like chemo ain't got nothing on me. And then I woke up Sunday and I was feeling like, whoa, like I think everything was wearing off. but I already had told her I was going in, and also I already had I had a bunch of orders that day, so I was like, yeah, I can't bail out. So I did tell her when I got there, I was like, I'm feeling a little slow, but just you're gonna have to take over a lot more than usual. And she's like, okay. But yeah, even that day I was like, I don't even know how I'm here. Like why am I here? And from knowing the first time how I felt, I was like, okay, so every Sunday after chemo, I'm not gonna like work because I already know how I feel. And yeah, sure enough, second round got the best of me. I did not feel good at all. And I told her, because she came to pick up stuff. And I told her like, hey, I'm not feeling good. Like I'm gonna like, you have to take responsibility in doing like deliveries too, because even like getting out of the house was just very hard for me. And it takes me like about a week to fully recover from chemo. And I think each round is different. Last round wasn't too bad. And now I'm going for round 4, and I'm feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Feeling like confident.
Yeah, and for me, who for anyone who's seen your journey, and since recently as well, you started losing your hair, right, because of chemo.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, you shaved your head on, was it live, or was it you did share the process of that with us? I don't know how to put into words other than like it's an inspiration, right? And it's motivating to see that someone who is going through this journey, this hardship in life, is still continuing to persevere and push through this. And so, why did you decide to just put it out there? Usually people are very reserved. They don't put shit out there. They kind of like, they go through it in private. But you're very vocal about it. And you're really out there with it. Why do that?
I think I've always shared my experiences, whether it's health, fitness. I also shared about motherhood, postpartum, being a mom, twin mom. I've always shared my experiences, and they've helped me like either create relationships with other moms, other people. They've helped me cope. So I think sharing this part of me, for me to keep it in and not share it at all, I think I would have a very hard time emotionally, mentally. So I think it's helped me cope more than anything, and just share awareness that even me, who's super healthy and who's considered like super fit and can get breast cancer too, at a young age. I mean, I'm only 30 years old, so I think breast cancer now is like targeting younger women.
Yeah, just cancer in general, like the prostate cancer, very common in men, is getting lower and lower every year. And so now they're saying, instead of checking it when you're older, check it when you're younger, and for everyone, they're saying just check yourself. It's always good to be updated and check yourself. Because you mentioned like before you suppressed a lot of emotions, right? Because, as an athlete, they're told like, move on, whatever. And now you're learning, you say you're going to therapy to learn. How has that helped you? And what have you been learning about yourself through all this since doing this?
So I started going to equine therapy. And equine therapy is like with horses. And horses are just so interesting. The way that I see horses now is just completely different compared to what I used to see them. I just thought, horses, rodeo, people ride them and stuff like that. But now I'm like, wow, they really help you heal just by doing nothing.
Yeah, therapeutic.
And so I started going because of postpartum. And I was feeling very, I was feeling like I was in a dark hole. And I didn't want to feel that way. I was like, how can I take care of my I need to take care of myself so I can take care of my kids, be like healthy, like mindset wise, for myself and also my kids. So I have a great therapist. She's awesome. She relates. She talks to me about her problems. We kind of like just relate like that, and you know, I learned how to communicate, even like with my parents, with my partner better, because I felt like I always kept everything inside me until I hit like a point where I like exploded, like, and everything came out all at once. So now it's like being able to communicate like effectively with my partner, with maybe friends. I feel like it's helped me a lot. Therapy has helped me a lot in not suppressing those feelings, not putting them to the side, and feeling it. Like if I want to cry versus like holding the tears back.
Yeah.
If I feel super excited, then feel the excitement and without
live in the moment, feel in the moment.
Feel the feeling is what my therapist tells me. She's like, feel the feeling, good or bad, because she's like, it will help you. And we've worked with like breathing exercises, yoga, and things that I didn't do before have been very helpful now. So finding out that I had breast cancer, and I already had that tool, so it helped me. Like I was able to remain calm at the same time, versus like freaking out. Yeah, I had my moments where, I would cry alone, and because I was in disbelief. I told her, I remember telling my therapist, like, there's like moments where I feel like, okay, like I don't have breast cancer. And then there's times where I'm like bawling my eyes out because I remember that I have breast cancer. And she told me, you're going to go through different stages. You're going to go through the grief. You're going to go through the acceptance, the denial, the loving yourself. And so she's like, they're all stages. She's like, so right now, maybe you're in denial still. And maybe you're grieving a part of you that was before breast cancer. And so, yeah, it's learning to cope, honestly. But I would say that I've learned a lot in ways how to cope, because before it was like I either shut people out, I wouldn't want to talk to anybody, or I'd become like angry Gracie, like don't ask me how I'm feeling, so now I'm able to open up about my feelings without maybe hurting the other person because of the way that I communicate with them.
What are the things that are helping you? I mean, I could automatically say that your kids, right? Your twin boys are what's motivating you and keeping you going strong.
Yes.
But what else is that's motivating you and keeping you afloat?
My family, my parents, my partner, but also myself. I'm not going to lose myself. If I lost myself once in postpartum, I'm not going to lose myself again. So, yeah, it's just not losing myself again.
And like I said, it's very refreshing in the sense that it's very motivating. Like, just by watching your journey, like I said before, and I'm sure many people feel that way too, just watching you and how open you've been and how just transparent you've been with your experience has been inspiring, right? And so what do you say to those people that are watching you and seeing this journey, but also just in general, like your takeaway from it?
For those who continue to follow me, well, I thank you. Thank you for continuing to follow me. Sometimes I rant on there, sometimes I express like maybe the simplest things of my journey, but it's just part of it. So it's just part of this whole breast cancer journey. And sometimes I forget to post stuff and I'm like, I forgot, you know, this happened, or I'm going through this experience. And there's like highs and there's lows. Like I'm not always going to be cheerful. There's times where I cry myself to sleep because of what I'm feeling or what I'm going through. But then I wake up and I'm like, yeah, I'm a badass. Like, you know, like,
yes, you are.
But more than anything, like, I know that I've raised awareness to some of my friends or people who follow me on social media. Like they're like, thank you for sharing your journey. Thank you for being so open about it. And it motivates me too, because I'm like, yeah, I'm sharing this experience and this journey. And like I said, it's helping me cope and like maybe heal as I'm going through it. But I'm also like encouraging others to maybe check their breasts, to get that mammogram, ultrasound, and yeah, some of them have reached out to me like, hey, I have a scheduled ultrasound or mammogram in the next few weeks, you know, because I felt a lump, or they're asking me questions like I'm an expert,
Yeah.
even though I'm not. But, you know, like they ask me, and I feel good, because I'm like, if I'm able to help at least one person, or like save them, or catch something early on, like, yay, like that's what I'm here for. So like, I thank them. I thank you guys for like following along. And I mean, it's still a long journey to go, because I'm still going through chemo, and who knows what else is next. But
because it's so easy to just tuck your tail in and just hide.
Yeah.
You know, but this motivate. You know, life. Everyone faces their own thing in their own way. And I'm not saying that one is facing more than the other less than the other, but it's a different perspective, because like I said, I see that you're going through this and you're there, you're pushing. I mean, again, you give birth, you're back into working out.
Yeah.
Right after you went through your first round of chemo and you're back in the kitchen cooking again. And it's just that persistent resilience that you show really inspires me. And I want you to know that it inspires me to keep on moving. Like when I'm facing, you know, some difficulties that I'm going through my life too, or even just like with the podcast, like, man, if Gracie could do like what she's doing and being like that, it's uplifting.
Thank you.
And I really appreciate the fact that you just actually took the time to do this, because I know you're super busy. You know, I know you got to go get your boys right now, but I really appreciate it, and I hope that through this, you can reach more people and more women.
Yes.
In this, and the fact that you felt comfortable enough to share this story with me and with everyone else on this light, I really thank you. I really appreciate you, and I just, you know, we're here to support you. I'm here to support, you know. Whatever I could do, anyone could do, you know, even if it's just, you know, a nice text message, you know, saying, hey, keep on going. Yeah. You know, I think she would really appreciate it. I think you're doing a great job. Where can people find you? Because I know you also have the business, so, you know, get some meals, you know. But where can people find you?
Mainly social media, like Instagram. That's where I post all my journey. My personal account isn't public, because I had it public at one point, but it was just, I was getting like spam, and I was like, forget it. So I have it private, but if people like request to follow me, then I'll look to make sure that it's a legit account, and then I accept. But yeah, it's pretty much Gracie Belmontes. And then my Fit Lyfe is Fit Lyfe Meals. And that's where I'm on there, pretty much. Yeah, I post all my stuff on there, my journey. And
what is your advice to anyone else if you're leaving your words, people want to remember you, this podcast, what is the one piece of wisdom that you give moving forward with everything that you've gone through, with everything that we've talked about?
Man, that's a lot. But I would say that God is good, and I think God doesn't give you what you can't handle, and it's something that I keep telling myself because I think God chooses his strongest battles, his strongest warriors, and gives them like these challenges, and because he knows that you can handle it, but also like just showing you guys that no matter what life throws at you, like you can still keep going. Yeah. Like it's just how you take it.
But yeah, God gives his strongest battles to the strongest warriors, and you're never gonna handle anything you can. And I'm a strong believer in that. And if you're going through something, it's because you can. You're able to handle it. You're never gonna experience something that, if God knows that, it might be too hard. It might be, it might affect more than yourself. He's not gonna give it to you. If you're going through it, take joy because you can handle it. Dang, Gracie, you're a freaking, you're kicking ass right now.
Thank you. I feel invincible, honestly.
Yeah.
So until chemo hits, knocks me down for a few days, but then afterwards I'm like, no, like I'm not going to let this take over me.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You're an inspiration to us all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, Gracie, thank you for taking this time out of your busy schedule, your busy life, and what you're going through to sit down with me and share this. And like I said before, I hope it reaches people out there.
Yes.
Because again, I can't express enough. You are an inspiration.
No, well, thank you for coming to me because, it's just, these are the only hours that I get to myself. So I'm like, I need to make it happen. And then, so I just appreciate you coming too and helping me, express and share awareness as well, because I think it's great.
Yeah. So for any lady out there, go get checked.
Yes. Check your breasts.
Yeah. Any guy, check yourself.
Yes.
Everyone. You're never too young. Again, thank you very much, guys. Thank you for sticking around and checking this out. Catch you guys on the next one. God bless. I'll see you guys.
Thank you.